What's up, everybody? Welcome out to another episode of Death Battle Cast. How's it going? Are you as excited as I am that Scooby Courage is out? Because, man, we've just been having a whole blast and wanting you guys to see that forever. Ben's not here today because he's super busy. And then we were like, well, we can give you a little break because we already had something real special planned for this cast that I'll get to in just a second. But hey, I'm Chad, I play Boomstick. I'm joined by Sam, former writer researcher of
Yeah,
Death Battle,
just
voice
here.
of one of the heads of the Goose
Yeah,
that
just
I can't
Mecha
remember,
Goose. Yeah, that's about it
Yeah.
these days. Yeah.
and helping behind the scenes with a lot of
A lot of
logistical
the
stuff.
bullshit minutia that doesn't really make a difference.
That's very important but not fun to talk about.
Yeah,
So
a lot of
yeah.
boring accounting. So much.
And but we do, like I said, we got a special episode because we got two special guests on today because apparently a heated debate that maybe is more one-sided than the other is between Lucina and Grovyle, and that is two of our writers, researchers extraordinaire, Kian and Jacob. So Kian, say what's up real quick.
What's up real quick? Hi guys, I'm Kian. I've been a researcher on the show for a few years now. Recently got to sit in the writer's seat and write Vader vs. Obito. Worked on Bill vs. Discord, Frieza Megatron. You know, maybe some of your other favorite episodes. I don't know. Also, it's pronounced Lucina, Chad.
What did I say?
You said Lucina.
Oh, I meant to say Lucina. I don't know, man. I'm looking at chat. I got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
I know how to say Lucina.
Anime voice, anime names. I get it. Who's my friend? Who's my friend? Well,
yeah, let's go. And debating against you. You've already lost points with me, by the way. That was a really bold move.
I'm here for accuracy. That's what I do. That's what we do.
That's a new record for losing points. Hey, what's up, everyone? Jacob here. I'm the new guy researching just this year. Already researching all of my favorite characters, so it's great to be here.
Yeah. So what are there any? What are some episodes that you can talk about that you've worked on?
I've researched Killua, Raven, Alex, and Gojo. The first two, Raven's like my favorite superhero. Killua's part of my favorite anime. Gojo got me into JJK, which is really cool. And I like Prototype's Prototype.
Yeah,
I grew an appreciation for Prototype, but it was
like,
cool to work on such a highly requested episode like that.
As a researcher, I assume the best thing about Prototype is that there's not that much Prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got a lot of funny scenes in it. Wasn't that much. Had some comics I didn't know about, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of fights that I just from my days of researching that you get to research, like it's either great because you love it or it's great because it's not as much work as, say, something like Raven, which is a lot of fucking work.
Sam, what did you get stuck with? Was it Bleach or was it One Piece? Was it Naruto?
Not Bleach. And then it was Fairy Tail, One Piece.
Oh, that's what it's, Fairy Tail, One Piece. So then every time we had a Fairy Tail or One Piece character, we're like, well, Sam, you've already had to like crush your soul going through all of that. Why don't you take on this other character? And he's like, but it's still so much.
That was when we had a fair bit of like our current research team, so I definitely got a lot of help on that because I don't think there's any way for like a single person. I mean, it's a little easier when you digest it to like a character, like it was Zoro in that case, and it's like with Zoro, you can skip up till their most recent power boost as far as like learning a lot. Like, but you know, like you don't need to see the first, I don't know, probably 300 episodes because nothing that matters death battle wise is really gonna happen. You know, they're not gonna do their strongest feat in the first fucking manga. That's what I mean. Like, it comes later. They just keep getting stronger. It's like Goku. Like, you don't need to look at the Namek saga anymore. You don't. You can't. Why?
But you gotta talk about how he became. Whatever. We still look at it
there, but it's just like as far as like doing calculations, you don't do that on anything except for the biggest shit, like cutting mountains in half and stuff.
Or weird stuff.
Sometimes there is weird shit that you have to do. Yeah.
But yes, obviously the show takes a lot of research, and we could not be where we are today without the tireless work of our research team. So we wanted to get them on and make them fight for your amusement. So how did this debate come about between y'all?
You go on first, Kian.
No, this was just like this goes back like way before we were even like either of us worked on the team. We were just fans in the community and friends, and we just like talked about matchups. And I think it was like we were both big fans of Fire Emblem Awakening, and then Jacob has his Trico Grovyle Subtile Obsession.
Obsession.
And so like, are you gonna deny it? Pokemon World Champion.
I mean, I do have all the plushes from when I grew up. It's a bit embarrassing to show, but
Oh, I didn't realize when it was smaller when you said that. That's a ton.
yeah,
of
that's a
them.
ton. Your way. I could just get out of my chair, or you can still see it all. Yeah, there's a lot.
So we dock Marks for bias on his part too, right?
Well, he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I
he's
am.
supposed to be.
This is the character that I'm going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And he didn't correct me 5 seconds into the show. So
Especially
like,
correct.
It's my job.
Kian,
It's my job.
I get it, but I feel like you need to maybe give people some lax on the pronunciation of C's specifically, which is where Chad did screw up.
Listen,
So-
I've dealt with pronunciation of C's all my life.
Yeah,
It's been
I'm sure.
cyan, it's been Cian. Like, it's a sensitive topic, man.
All right.
yeah,
no,
I was watching
actually,
a lot of the chat try and spell your name, and I don't think anybody got it.
Yeah.
I think I can understand that, Kian. Actually, now that I consider it.
Let's see. The death battle account got it right.
Well, we would.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
But yeah,
all right,
no,
cool.
yeah, it's something that we've talked about for a while. And then we were both saying like, "Hey, why don't we just go on cast for it? Why not?"
Mhm.
And now
Yeah.
we're here, and
And Jacob was already talking some shit before we were getting started.
I was
Yeah.
He was
indeed.
already saying you're going down.
Yeah.
So
um,
all right, well, let's get into it then. We'll have who wants to go first? Who's feeling?
You can go first, Kian.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay,
Alright.
Jacob, should I bust out the first bit that I've prepared?
You have.
for
Oh
today?
yeah, I forgot you had more
Yeah.
bits than you had research for this.
For Lucina.
Yeah. No, I have research planned.
Yeah, you
but this is for all the people who are too deep in internet culture and probably not Chad and Sam. So whenever the counter wants to start. Okay,
you go.
cool. So, as expected of this match, Lucina comes from a future that's been devastated by the fell dragon Grima, and who has just raised this entire army of zombies. She's been trained in combat by the Exalt of Eos Krom, her father, since she was like 10 years old or something. Like, and we know that when she goes back in time, it's been over 10 years. So she's been training for like over half her life. She's a master with swords, lances, javelins, magic, axes, all sorts of crazy stuff. She's got archery. She's gonna have a range advantage. She's got way more stuff to pull from compared to Grovyle's limited move pool of like, they get like 4 moves max, I think. We also like, she's just gonna have an experience advantage. She's just gonna, yeah.
Okay.
I want you to know,
Yeah.
I was taking a drink and then you took.
I heard
off
you
the
choke.
cup. Yeah, simply, I had to.
Yeah. All right. This is done now. For the internet people, they got the joke.
I was just impressed. Costume changing. You went right into that, and like,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is only the
pretty
first
quick.
bit.
yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
all right,
Honestly, I don't have that many planned, Jacob.
Please don't.
that many? I mean, more than one. All right, that's right. That's great. I'm all
All
for it.
right.
All right, tell us about Grovyle, your passion.
Yeah, sure thing. Grovyle is also from a doomed future, a future that is paralyzed in time. Everything is stopped in time. Don't ask why there's still living things in the future. But he seeks to go back to the past, obviously, save everyone. And what makes PMD different compared to like mainline Pokemon is that 1, Pokemon can talk, 2, they're smarter, and 3, they have more than just their base like moves and such. Grovyle's base moves are like being able to make leaf blades that fight in sword combat. He has a lot of projectiles that can keep up with Lucina's, incorrect Kian. He has a lot of maneuverability and stat racing stuff and stat debuffing stuff. But what makes PMD even more unique is that Pokemon in it use items that they find in dungeons, in mystery dungeons. A lot of these have a wide area of effect that would make it very difficult to dodge. Some of them can make you go to sleep. Some of them can make you confused. Some of them can make you be petrified for indefinite amount of time until Grovyle just decides to attack you. And a lot more ludicrous stuff.
Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. I've seen this matchup talked about a bit, and every time I look at it, I'm all like, it's always so weird when we pair a Pokemon with something very not similar to a Pokemon, right? Like, and then I'm like, what's the connection? It's like, I'm like, I know the like Leaf Blade thing, but it's like, what's the big connection between the two? Is it just like the sword kind of combat thing and the future thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few things that are really
Yeah.
similar. They both have to
Yeah.
defeat a dark evil dragon too
Yeah.
by the end of any
Yeah,
mystical
they
objects.
travel back to the past. They got
Nintendo.
Handheld RPGs. Yeah, that's like
Yeah. They it was funny when this got announced for the ballot and all the comments are like, why are you putting Lucina up against like a random Pokemon? Yeah, because obviously everyone knows mainline stuff rather than the
yeah,
Mystery
Pokemon
Dungeon.
Mystery Dungeon
this
is a bit. I don't know if you can call anything Pokemon niche, but as far as Pokemon goes, it is kind of niche.
Yeah, it's not the mainline thing, so people find it.
Yeah.
funny. I saw some people finally were like, "Why isn't it Sceptile at least? Why doesn't it evolve?" He doesn't evolve in the games.
Got it. All right, cool. So let's talk. What's the next step here? For who wants to fire back? Because you're now saying, so obviously the move list argument that's gone because Grovyle does a lot more because of Mystery Dungeon, and then there's the items and stuff. So what are we feeling now, Kian?
What do you got?
Okay,
against that,
well,
Ian?
give me some specific items.
There's items that turn you into a marketable plushie. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. How about that?
Which one was that again?
I think it's called the decoy. It's called the decoy orb, if I recall. They're like different food items that give different effects, or different like magical orbs that have a wide area of effect. But yeah, besides that funny one, there's a lot more. Like,
so does Grovyle have to eat it to then turn something into a plushie, or does the thing have to eat it to turn into a plushie?
Oh, the thing about Mystery Dungeon is that you chuck those seeds across the screen like 20 miles away, and then they just eat it. Like at the end, if it hits an enemy, they just like gulp, and then they're paralyzed or something like that.
So gameplay mechanic, because Lucina can just keep her mouth closed and not eat it, right?
Not when she's like saying one of her one-liners about trying to change fate or whatever.
It's gonna snipe it. Your anime monologue was your downfall. You know?
I mean, yeah, Fire Emblem characters do like to. They like some exhibition in there for sure.
Every critical hit.
Real quick, I wanna pause this real quick because Speedy is freaking out in my DMs right now. Not
Speedy.
Sponsored by Hooters, by the way. We are not sponsored by Hooters. That was just for a bit. You can rest easy now, Speedy. You can rest easy.
And Speedy gifted 5 memberships.
Let's go, Speedy.
Was that because they normally have to catch up a second? That was either incredible timing or he was just waiting for your correction.
Mouse over the button, like
right.
No, but beyond like that one marketable plushie orb, there's many that just paralyze you. The one I mentioned specifically to go in more in depth is it paralyzes you, or how is it called, petrification orb. You literally stay paralyzed until you're interacted with, and this is one of the orbs, so it's not like Grovyle has to chuck a seed into her mouth to do it. These can be like room wide, and by room wide I mean like in the game there's like giant rooms, so it's a wide area of effect. So Lucina would have like a terrible time even trying to dodge an attempt, or even because it's kind of like an invisible thing that happens.
Yeah, as far as the petrification one goes, I got a bit of help from one of our other researchers, Lousy, for this. Lucina, yeah, I got you gotta use what resources you got at your disposal, right? This is Cass, there are no rules. She can learn. One of the abilities that she has is called. Let's see. Well, she has an ability that can counter another thing called false start, which seals and nullifies movement, skills, effects, and all that. So like paralysis and that kind of nullification stuff isn't gonna work on her. So do you have any more? The marketable plushie thing. Yeah, the marketable plushie thing, I will admit, I'm not aware of any transmutation stuff in Fire Emblem. Maybe there's one game where they got turned to stone. I'm not 100% sure.
There's a few of these orbs that transform you. Some of them turn you into items.
Real quick, Aaron the Carrot gifted 5 memberships, and Andy gifted 1. Thank you guys. If you guys got gifted a membership, go check out all of our membership content, and then join our Discord.
See it.
Okay, so petrification's not gonna work, apparently.
You
Yeah.
said sleep and confusion wouldn't work either, Kian.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay.
Kian's being very cagey about like, what do you have?
What do you have? Okay.
Show me your
He's
hands.
like.
Okay, I was gonna save this for later.
Well,
No. Hold on.
Well, Fire Emblem as a series, like in terms of JRPGs and all that, it isn't too much about status effects. Like you don't really see the typical like paralysis or sleep or all that kind of stuff in there. So I don't really like Lucina is admittedly mostly working on like power and like range. She doesn't have any of like the status stuff. So that's why I'm asking like, what do you have? So then I can retort. Because that's just kind of how she has to work it.
That's fair. That's a fair assumption. Beyond the stuff I've mentioned, there's items that can change the weather. There's items that can cause blindness. There's a few other different types of transforming items. There's items that make others drop all of their items. So all of Lucina's equipment would just go plop on the floor, and she has to like pick it all back up.
That's where that's where that Hooters thing came into play.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
There's a few other things. Is there any encounters for like her trying to like avoid having all of her items just off?
As far as the whole items thing go, from what I understand, there's a certain degree of what's the thing that they call it? Pocket space, hammer space, something
Pocket dimension,
like that.
hammer space, yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain degree of that on the go where in mainline Fire Emblem, like Awakening, the game that she debuts in, you can only carry like 5 items with you at a time. And then in stuff from like Project X Zone and I believe the Warriors games, like she's able to change classes on the fly and bring out new weapons like that. So she doesn't necessarily like keep them on her person the same way that Grovyle has like like a bag that can only carry like so many. So there might also be a question, Jacob, of what's like the main things he might bring to this, because he can't like just in terms of like the like he has a carry limit as well, basically.
I think for the debate, like we'd look at all of it. We'd look at all the little like seeds and orbs and things, and then we'd look at all of Lucina's stuff.
Yeah,
he have the revisor seed.
Yeah, where you laugh and then you die.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's like this.
That is the thing.
No, that's like the stupidest bit in the whole game, where like the best. Yeah,
not the grammar check items.
Hey, speaking of stupid bits, my mom gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much. What a fun username every time you gift. We appreciate you. All right.
No, but for when it comes to like all these items, there is a limit, but it's a pretty big limit. If I recall, because there's like various upgrades you can get for your bag. I think it's like 24 or 48 depending on the upgrade. I forgot what Grovyle has. Exactly.
Because he has his own what do they call it? Special episode.
Yeah.
Does his bag in that scale to the bag that you get in main game, or
I do not recall. The bare minimum would be 24 though.
Bare minimum is 24, so he's still got a fair bit with him.
Yeah, and there's some items that like do the RPG thing where it stacks on top of each other, like as long as you have the same item.
Is that how it works? I haven't played the game in a while, but I believe that.
I'll mention this now because there's a later game that he's in, and they have these items called wands. Those stack up to 99 each, and they only take up 1 space in your item slot. And a lot of these have the same effects as many of the seeds and orbs that I mentioned, like paralyzing you indefinitely, teleporting.
Wands are super mystery dungeon, right? I don't think they're in Explorers.
Yes, but Grovyle is in the game, and he is playable at all times once you kind of do his side mission. So I think they are definitely on the table. There's a few items from that game that actually give him more of an advantage. You were mentioning a lot of like the skills. I know there's been arguments for like both characters have a kind of revival thing or like preventing death type of thing. Grovyle has reviver seeds, and Lucina has that miracle skill people mentioned before. There's an item in Super Mystery Dungeon that just nullifies passive abilities. So I not sure how Lucina's going to handle that for a lot of her important skills, and that would also be a thing that would nullify a lot of things like the petrification.
What do you mean
items, I
by
guess.
passive abilities?
Like, you know how Pokemon have passive abilities?
Are you talking about like Blaze and
Yeah, like
that kind of
Blaze
stuff?
and other stuff.
Steadfast.
I think that would
yeah.
be a good equivalent because they are just passive in nature 99% of the time.
Kind of. A lot. Fire Emblem kind of. If there is one big thing about its, if there is one big JRPG thing about it, it's that it loves its critical hits, and it's like a lot of the skills, like they aren't like active at always at a time. Like it's more so like in gameplay, at least it's a percentage thing, or you know, like kind of have to like get the lucky roll. Being like how do you say, but like realistically, she could do them at any time. Like I was talking before about like class changes, like technically speaking in game, like if Lucina is the Lord class, she can't use magic, but obviously like, you know, your
She
clothes
can
don't
use
determine
magic.
yeah, like
she
her
should
clothes don't
theoretically.
determine that
Mhm.
stuff. Like
Mhm.
she should still be able to just do it.
So,
Yeah.
question: we've talked so much about like items and magic and like the counter. I'm curious, like for like baseline of like what these characters can do in terms of like
Speed, strength, yeah.
strength,
Speed,
things
strength,
they've
yeah.
survived.
Yeah.
Also, Joe Ferry gifted 10 memberships. Thank you. Yeah. So like,
And
let's get.
also, you've mentioned in the chat's mentioned Project X Zone a handful of times. Is there any reason to count any of that shit as canon, or is that just like fun? Because I am under the
It's more of
impression
a
that
fun thing.
That's more of a
Project
fun
X Zone,
thing.
is
Yeah.
like just okay. So just throw that out.
Keen, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Think of the scaling. No, just
Think of
kidding.
the scaling.
No,
you can also do
exactly.
that.
I was like, if
there's
there's
other
a canon
stuff.
reason for Project
There's
X Zone,
other-
then she
yeah.
wins. But yeah.
Well, yeah, the reason why I bring up Project X Zone is just to like show that like it's more of a like consistent thing. I'm not talking about scaling Project X Zone. I wouldn't be like, oh, Mega Man X did this thing, so Lucina, you know.
Yeah.
But there are other things that we could maybe talk about in that realm, depending on where we want to go.
Yeah, like what do you what's your stats line for
Yeah,
Lucina?
so we'll go with the baseline easy stuff, right? So let's see. So I think probably the most digestible feat that Lucina gets is she partakes in the fight against Grima, the Fell Dragon, who managed to create a huge storm in one of the CG cutscenes. I think it's been calced to about town level, and Lucina especially should be able to scale because she has Falchion, which is a blade like literally designed to attack dragons, kill dragons. Because I think in Fire Emblem lore they're like, you know, as per normal, they're the most powerful beast and all that.
What's Grovyle's typing?
Just grass.
Just
but
okay.
Grovyle is part of the Dragon Egg
I hate
group.
you. I hate you. I despise you.
It's part of what? Sorry.
The Dragon Egg group.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is, he would be weak. He would be weak to dragon type attacks because dragon beats dragon in Pokemon. Then, so I don't think that matters at all in that
Well,
sense.
if dragon beats dragon in Pokemon, then the thing to kill a dragon in Fire Emblem would be dragon beats dragon. So
yeah,
like,
because I think Falchion is like the tooth of Naga. Is it?
Yeah, I think it's the tooth of Naga.
So it is
or something
dragon.
That.
But,
yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
but it's so I'm trying to make that comparison because
Just to
Grovyle isn't weak to
clarify.
dragon attacks. He's just really good at
Grovyle, Grovyle
eggs
is not
with other
a dragon type Pokemon. Just has dragon egg type, which is I don't see how that necessarily matters.
He can breed with dragons, but he's not a dragon. Yeah.
Thanks, Kian.
Yeah,
I know.
So
I knew it was going to be cursed. I just said it for the curse.
Yeah. Anyway, something that Grovyle.
Yes.
Sorry, I need to think.
Psychological
Grovyle-
torment. This is how you do it, guys. Pay attention.
So,
Take notes.
Helped kill a dragon that could create a town level storm. We got that.
Yeah. So Grovyle throughout the story consistently fights like legendary Pokemon. He's fight Uxie, Azelf, a fake Groudon that was created by Uxie. So, and the most important one here is Primal Dialga.
God.
Yeah, God, time God. Bare minimum, legendary Pokemon like this are always like kind of in Mystery Dungeon are kind of seen as parallel to each other in power. And there's feats that some legendary Pokemon do, like Rayquaza, destroying a giant meteor that would have caused the extinction. Groudon himself has also caused a earthquake that spanned a whole continent. For the meteor feat in particular, I think it's like extinction level threats get around 72 teratons of TNT. That's like country level.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's and Grovyle got Pokemon got so wild.
Indeed.
Yeah. I want to make sure that I have you right here. When you talk about Rayquaza destroyed an extinction level meteor, was that in Mystery Dungeon, or are you talking about Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire?
This is
actually it's Rayquaza, so ha! Got you back. No, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
oh.
Anyway.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's
Just-
all good.
unbelievable. No,
I don't hold grudges, Jad. You can correct me if you want.
I don't either. Now that I've gotten even, I'm just playing. God.
the this meteor is at the end of the first game. He destroys it with his hyper beam, and in the remake too, that's on Switch. The meteor is like massive, and he like disintegrates the whole thing.
Grovyle
is-
does, or Dialga?
Uh,
Probably Dialga.
Rayquaza does, but Dialga
Rayquaza.
definitely should be like around the same level because there's like throughout all the games, many of the main characters like fight all these legendary Pokemon, and like based on just these main characters fought Rayquaza and then fought Dialga, or these main characters fought Dialga and then Rayquaza. All that mumbo jumbo nonsense. It should be around the same level.
Wait, was I wrong with Rayquaza? It is Rayquaza.
It is
and I'm-
Rayquaza.
Great,
I didn't
so I
want to
was-
correct you, Chad.
No, that's fine.
It's
But I like how you're
Rayquaza?
playing the game.
Really?
Well, I really thought it was Rayquaza this whole time. My bad. All right, Kindrax, thanks for the 5 memberships. I was definitely wrong again. All right, double on me.
Yeah, same.
I wanted Chad to get his dub.
Yeah.
I will bring up in counter to that real quick, Jacob. Grovyle did fight Dialga in the special episode, but he was weakened due to time being erased and had Dusknoir and another legendary, Celebi, on his side. So
Those 3 were also severely weakened at the time because they got their ass handed to them by Dialga like moments earlier, and then went up there and then
Yeah.
kicked his ass. And also,
But even then, 1/3 of a continent is still bigger than
Yeah.
town.
yeah, and
True.
also at the when not in the special episode, because the main characters have to defeat the primal Dialga of the past. This is when Grovyle went back to the future. He fought that Dialga. Grovyle is always deemed as like superior to the main characters, and they fight Dialga too before he gets like super weakened, like before time's all screwed up and he goes berserk and gets weaker. So I think it's around that level, bare minimum.
Well, I brought up the Grima thing just because that's from that's what's actually, I think that's probably the best feat that's in Awakening, which is like Lucina's main game. She does scale to other stuff though, thanks to Fire Emblem Fates and Engage. We know that basically like the Fire Emblem characters, like Fire Emblem, like pretty much every game gets like a brand new cast, but they all in some way like exist in the same like multiverse. And Lucina has like met or at least like Lucina's companions have gone to other worlds and helped out. So she's engaged as an emblem alongside like the people from Three Houses. I think Martha's in it. Ike, a lot of the old characters. So she scales to stuff that exists in like other games in the series. One of which, let's see, which game was this again? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
from
have
Radiant-
a side death battle
Yeah.
going on in Sam's camera right
These
now.
fucking dogs, man.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wasn't sure if I should call it out. I was waiting for someone else to do it.
No. They're gonna shut them down, don't worry.
Yeah, but in Radiant Dawn, Chad, you might be able to call me out again because I'm probably about to butcher this.
I'm too scared now.
No, it's all good. You probably won't be able to pronounce it either, honestly. Ashanera, I think it's pronounced. She's a goddess who flooded the entire planet with a large tsunami. And the characters from that game, I believe, fight her. And and that got up to, depending on, well, even if you want to use like low ends, that gets up to 750 exatons of TNT, which is small planet level. So Grovyle or Lucina can still like hang out in that ballpark at least.
If I do recall, that's like, is that the full value? Do remember hearing that characters like Ike only get half of it because the god is split in two, and Ike only fought one of them.
So 1/3 of a continent, half a
Yes,
planet.
Well, it's a good thing I brought up Super Mystery Dungeon because there's even a wackier feat that happens in that feat and in that game, which also involves Rayquaza. So, at the end of the game in Super Mystery Dungeon, there is this tree of life, and it's responsible for the entire rotation of like the planet and make sure it doesn't like go whack out of orbit.
Sure.
The main, yeah, of course, obviously.
What trees
the
do?
main, as trees do, the main antagonist of the game, Dark Matter, is trying to lift the tree into the sun, so then the planet flies into the sun. Yeah. I love Super Mystery Dungeon. It's my favorite game of all time.
No. We'll ignore this one.
So
Skies is way better.
Yeah, there's
Skies
a
is
lot
way
of
better.
Pokemon that try to stop it. The main three that actually do halt the tree from rising and in turn stopping the whole planet from going into the sun.
Moving. Yeah.
Yeah, moving it. Are Rayquaza, Deoxys, and Mewtwo. There's a few other Pokemon that are quite a bit of few like bird Pokemon, but they don't really do anything. These are the main three. A third of that, the full value is 623.8 Zetatons, which is, I think, not even two times difference for what Kian mentioned. And even a third of this would be able to contend with Lucina. And you could argue Grovyle could scale to the full value because there's a Pokemon called Xerneas. And Xerneas is like the personification of the Tree of Life. It's like dear god of the planet to make sure it doesn't go whack out of the sun.
Dude, I love that XTC song.
Yeah. So, because all the legendary Pokemon are kind of shown to be equal to each other, and Rayquaza, especially when it Mega Evolved, pushed back the tree, you can argue Grovyle would be somewhere around the same ballpark as like the full 623 Zetatons.
Remind me, because he defeated who?
Because he's defeated multiple legendary Pokemon. He's in Super Mystery Dungeon, so he's playable and can fight a lot of other legendary Pokemon from that game, including Mega Rayquaza and a lot of others. So usually a lot of like top tiers who like make it to the end game and like are active players in the stories of these games kind of just all go around the same ballpark in power.
Is Grovyle the strongest non-legendary Pokemon? Also, I think we didn't say it yet. Thank you, Gelatin Man, for 10 members. We always appreciate you. As somebody had said, the Mr. Beast of Death Battle.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jacob, I'm gonna have to fight for my title.
Not
But real quick, before you do, I gotta thank somebody else who supports Death Battle Cast, and that is NordVPN, our sponsor for today. Because the show is brought to you by NordVPN. It's no secret that Wi-Fi networks, especially free public ones, can be compromised by criminals to get access to, spy on, or even alter your data. For example, say you want to surf the web at your local cafe, but the network you sign into happens to be a fake one set up to harvest any sensitive data you enter. Well, we've all been there. I know I've opened my phone and be like, oh, I don't know. But there's an easy solution. You can encrypt your online traffic with NordVPN at all times to keep those hackers' creepy fingers off your info. NordVPN is easy to use. You can connect with one click or enable auto connect for zero-click protection. It's got 5,800 servers in 60 countries and has been confirmed by speed tests to be the fastest VPN out there. And you can say goodbye to the bandwidth throttling based on traffic type. Since NordVPN encrypts all traffic, your internet service provider can't slow down your streaming speed. NordVPN is on every major platform: Windows, Android, iOS, macOS, and Linux. Even your Android TV supports NordVPN. Exclusive. Grab the NordVPN deal, nordvpn.com/DBC, and get extra subscription time. Try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/DBC and get extra subscription time. Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring our show. We appreciate you. All right. Back at it.
back at it again.
Okay, where did we leave off?
We were talking about the
The-
power of like the tree.
This,
God's
the
tree.
tree
Liam
of
hates it
life.
when I do
Yeah.
this. When I throw it to an ad read right when he's about to make a retort, then he comes back and he's like, "Wait, what was happening?" It's great.
I'm completely mentally checked out on what we were talking about too, Keith.
Because you were so excited about NordVPN, you got to go sign up right away.
This is true. I'm gonna go
Oh
do
my
that
God.
right now.
Does
I
anyone
guess we haven't talked about
do
speed
ad
yet.
reads better than Chad? Speed, yeah. Let's see. I gotta go dig in for the ones that I found in this document. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure, I can start off. So,
Yeah.
for Grovyle speed, he scales to a Pokemon called. Oh wait, sorry, I remember it exactly. Sam, you were asking if Grovyle was like the strongest non-legendary. I would say so, at least around up there. All right. For the
I
speed,
would say so for my argument.
I would say so for my argument.
Yeah. Well, Jacob.
Well, there's
yeah.
I can
Jacob,
explain
I'll
something
give
that
him
happens.
second place because Wigglytuff. He can have second place.
This is true. Wigglytuff is like a god. Okay. But they had to do this
Utah.
like giant scheme in order to capture Grovyle because he's seemed to be like a villain at first. So they needed like 3 legendary Pokemon and a whole guild and the police to capture this guy successfully. So I would say he's like tricky enough and powerful enough to be like considered a top tier beyond legendaries in some cases. For speed though, he scales to his enemy turned ally Dusknor, who has dodged lightning attacks. That has gotten Mach 1380. And there's also dragon type Pokemon like Dialga, Palkia, Rayquaza. They can use the move Draco Meteor, which does pull meteors from space down to attack enemies. The highest end this has gotten is 8,098. And there's plenty of Pokemon attacks in the series that are described as being light speed, like Power Gem
Right.
and Dazzling Gleam. So you could argue relativistic speeds or just light speed attacks in some cases for Grovyle.
Okay, and then I don't know if you have context on this, but Kandorian says he also moved faster than the Lake Trio who could see to steal the time gears. Whatever that means. Nope.
I do.
All right.
I do.
It's cool.
I'm trying to think. I do
Light
recall. Yeah, I think what I mentioned is better than that. There is like a feat where he like leaves a lake incredibly fast. I think that might be what they're talking about. And these like lakes are super huge. The time gears are basically the MacGuffins that he's trying to collect. So he collects it and then dips in like a flash.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, I know that I'm hurting my argument here, but not really. Grovyle, or at least like the partner and Mesprit, the partners and Mesprit, did they not technically outrun time itself by escaping the desert lake as it froze?
Are you trying to set me up here for later?
No, I'm just memeing. Obviously, you wouldn't actually take that, but
I'll do it. I'll argue
It'd
it.
be a bit funny. Yeah, go for it. Why not? Go for it.
I'll win.
I'm mostly here to have fun. I don't actually care too much about winning or losing.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to say that. No,
I'm definitely super serious about this.
I'm
I
a
think it's a fun
man
thing to
of the
talk about.
people.
I'm
I'm a man of the people.
All right.
Okay, so found the stuff. So the main things for Lucina are at least certain Fire Emblem games. There's some spells and stuff where characters will summon meteors or lightning. From what I'm looking at here, low end for the meteors is about Mach 1100. High end is about Mach 2700. What was it that you're saying Grovyle was saying at? Was it like 3000?
It was for the lightning. It was 1,800, or sorry, 1,300, and then 8,000 for the meteors.
Okay, so so he's definitely gonna have an advantage on the meteors. Let's see, were there any other ones that I want to look at?
Potentially light speed stuff too.
Potentially light speed. Is there? I know that Fire Emblem has light and magic. I don't think people take it too seriously though.
Yeah, I think the most consistent thing I will say for these are the meteors and lightning people typically go with.
Yeah, that's typically. Is that what we went with Dimitri? I'm trying to. I haven't watched the episode in a little bit.
Yeah,
I know
I
that there
think
was some big thing about
meteors.
meteor nukes in there. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right,
so
also for
being- yeah.
Lucina, you have meteor feats and light speed feats, like dodging lightning and light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So about relative in speed. I think usually
Yeah, pretty,
Gro-
pretty damn
Grovyle-
close to each other for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Grovyle. Lucina is a fast character, but I think Grovyle is probably more well known for his speed, at least compared to like the rest of their cast. So
yeah.
I don't. He probably has like somewhat of an advantage, but I wouldn't say it's by much.
Yeah. Oh, I think overall,
Not like
I think,
blitzing. Got it. Like
yeah, I think
Yeah,
overall these
not
stats are
blitzing.
like quite similar. Like off cast, I guess we could say. Kian and I kind of like say like, oh yeah, these are pretty even. I think we mostly do consider like the arsenal to be like, or at least I
that's the
consider
big sticky
the
point.
arsenal. Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of why we
Mm.
started with all that. Like,
Yeah,
try,
well, I just
try
wanted
to
to
counter
get-
that, Kian.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can get back into that. But first, I want to tell everybody about what's going on. Surprise Mike with it, but he's fast. All right. So, first of all, what's going on is y'all are awesome and amazing and got Scooby versus Courage to #1 trending day 1 on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. I think it's still #2 right now. We were defeated. We were taken down. Our last episode was taken down by American football, and now it's been regular football. The rest of the world calls it, has taken us down to #2. Anyway, appreciate y'all so much for watching the episode. Team put a lot into this episode. Extra shout outs to Luis and the animation team. Good God, it looks amazing. And this has been like my, what's up?
I would go as far to say that this is the best episode of Death Battle.
I have seen that
That's
comment.
how I'm feeling.
a
I
ton.
think it's the
I
best one.
saw our old boy Torian say that, and it,
Oh,
I didn't
word?
work on this episode, but it filled my heart. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the best episode.
It's so good.
it's really
a lot of the cartoon episodes like are just so good. Whenever we get to it, it's like a special, like just a special time for cartoons.
It's always
Mm.
it's always impressive to me when like Liam is so good at like fitting in all the gags in such a natural way with
Mhm.
like the like running through the doors thing, like the thumbnet or the thumb war.
It's because he used
Peter.
them as excuses, at least the door one, to me.
To work in his agenda.
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
Liam will go such a far distance to meme. It is ridiculous.
Sometimes he will put stuff in scripts that I'll get to, and he's like, I put that in there just to see if you'd say it. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, we can do this one. Other times I'm like, I'm changing that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Scooby Courage was a big passion project for a lot of us this year, and super stoked that it's finally out and that y'all are enjoying it. So glad you guys had a good time. Thank you so much for watching it. So I just want to acknowledge that and shout out to the team. And then the other thing that's going on is, do you guys, what do you want to do it? It feels very powerful when you call for it. Do you want to say the words?
Oh, us?
Yeah,
you want
do
to
it.
do you want to do in
Okay.
unison?
Yeah, there you
Okay. What?
All right.
Do we just say the 3 words in
Yeah,
3, 2, 1?
however you
Yeah,
want.
we'll do 3, 2, 1.
The
I thought you were gonna go
tournament
first.
of champions. The tournament of champions.
Yeah. Like with the delay online, y'all were
Yeah,
never
I was
gonna
like,
get that.
yeah,
I was like,
so-
these guys are setting themselves up for failure, but okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Anybody can do a
Socially
tournament
awkward
of
white
champions.
guys. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, he said it. Can I get one? Tournament of Champions, right?
Welcome to the Tournament of Champions!
Like I said, you feel powerful.
I do
all
feel
right.
so powerful.
Sam, tell us what's going on with Tournament Champions. Oh, I actually didn't mean that one, Mike.
Welcome to the Tournament of
Well,
Champions!
you got it anyways. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna talk about the winner of this one. I never know. It's better to show the clip. So, Mike, do you want to show us the clip of who won this week, or I can just tell them? That's right.
Welcome to the Tournament of Champions, the semi-finals. The first round of votes are in, and these 4 matches are moving on. What do you want to see? The terrifying teachers, Monokuma versus Kuro-sensei. The spectacular supervillains, Gru versus Megamind. The magnificent magical girls, Sailor Moon versus Monica. Or the cartoon tricksters, Wile E. Coyote versus Tom Cat. Vote for your favorite out of these 4 for a chance to see it next year on Death Battle. All champions get a vote, and if you're not a champion yet, click that join button below and make your voice heard.
So yeah, Sans the Judge one, and that goes into not obviously next week's, but the week after that we'll be doing that side of it. But man, this week, this upcoming vote,
tough.
I kind of think it's gonna be Groove versus Megamind. Almost disappointingly, I feel like it's just such a strong meme that people are gonna vote it. But
I could see it. We talked about it a bit before cast, but Tom Wiley also destroyed its side by like a similar number. Cartoon people could be divided, but also like I have seen some people be like, we have the Megamind cartoon coming next year. Might make sense to see what comes out of that, but we'll see. It is the Reddit most wanted. So
I saw a thing on our subreddit about how this season has been like the season for like Western cartoon enjoyers, and I feel like they've all been pretty successful. And Tom Wiley like really is one of the pinnacle matchups for that kind of archetype.
We still haven't done a Looney Tunes, I think.
Yeah,
because God, but we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, Korokuma is up there for me too. I know Key and I were both talking about that right before because I just would love to tell people about Koro Sensei because we don't.
I think that would probably be the coolest and best matchup for sure.
Oh, it'd be sick.
I think Gru Megamind might also awesome. Like kind of be fun. My fear with Tom Wiley is like it is so Toon Force that I mean it might just kind of be like a repeat of Scooby Courage, right? Like if they're that level of Toon Force, which I mean Wile E. Coyote turns into ashes and comes back all the time, so it might be something close to that.
Yeah, but which one of their universes has Dip in it, right? Which one is it, right?
Dip?
Yeah,
like
from Who Framed Roger Rabbit and like the thing that literally kills cartoons.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
So anyway,
I'd be really interested in like how we frame that one, like in terms of like a game of cat and mouse, because that's like what they do.
They just all the winner is the one who actually has their trap succeed at the end. They just keep hitting each other throughout the whole thing.
Or
whichever one wins gets to kill their rival. Like that's you know, like that's
or just they're internally in combat, and then Jerry and Roadrunner actually they are the winners by default because they don't have to deal with them anymore. Like that's I don't know, but nonetheless, it's going to be really interesting to see how the community votes on this one, and then when we get to the other side, it is just going to be just as interesting as a match, and then we'll see the final one here in 3 weeks.
Top 2.
Which, honestly, I don't know how any of the matchups would go. Like, looking on any of the side matchups, I don't know.
I feel like the Danganronpa assassination classes might just pull through again, because that's what happened with and lose.
Yeah, they pulled the upset. They could do it again. They could do it again.
That was the weirdest one. Week 1, we were like, "Oh, this will be an and lose victory. Go ahead, community. We'll give them an easy one." Week 1, and then they were like, "No." And I'm like, what?
I shamelessly backed that one, and then I had some people be like, "Chat influence."
Yeah,
like, I just
you did.
I thought it would be cool.
Chad James, famous influencer,
and we're influencing it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, vote Korokuma.
Or don't actually.
Yeah, so head over to the Discord if you guys just got gifted a membership. You guys can go vote. So just head to the Discord, tie in your YouTube membership to Discord so that you can get over there, and then go to the little emoji thing in the tournament or whatever, and it'll sign you up. I'm bad at this. The mods will tell you. Just get over there. You'll figure it out.
They know what to tell you. Yeah,
they'll know what to do, and then you can go vote for which one you want. All right, back to the debate. Lucina versus Grovyle. All right, what else you guys got going on? Because here pretty soon we're gonna pull from the community answers and start doing voting and stuff. So
well,
back to the equipment, seeds,
being an
and
RPG
orbs and stuff.
Being an RPG, I have like 12 Orgillion items I could mention, but you want to go first, Kian, with your equipment like comparison?
I mean, I've kind of talked about it before. Like, Lucina is very much just like combat focused. It's not really about like status moves or status conditions and all that. So I think you could probably argue that she's gonna be a lot more straightforward in the fight. She's definitely gonna be just like more focused on just cutting his head off. I still like, as far as Grovyle has like the status equipment like but that's all like range stuff's like paralyzed and all that. Lucina has like the actual she can actually, shoot from long distance, throw from long distance, magic from long distance, all that kind of stuff. And theoretically, because Fire Emblem does this a lot, could she not be like out of range of the orb's effect?
It really depends. I think the speed advantage might benefit Grovyle here because he could get the orb off, and it being a wide area of effect would make it very difficult for her to be able to dodge anything. And there's just some orbs. Oh.
Real quick, I wanted to ask about this because I forget if Mystery Dungeon still do PP for PowerPoints, like limited number of times the move can be used.
They do, but they also have elixirs, if I recall, so that would restore that.
Okay, yeah.
So, weapon durability versus power points. Grovyle got that.
I mean, Lucina is carrying around a lot more weapons on her. Plus, Falchion is just straight up unbreakable.
That is true.
Like, if you were talking like, like infinite uses will eventually beat out however many leaf blades and elixirs,
That is true. I do think a lot of these potential weaknesses Grovyle might have in this matchup.
What's Crom's sister's name? I forget.
Which one? Lissa?
No, not Lissa. The one who dies and then comes back. Yeah, Emerin. The map after she dies is always rainy, and fire magic isn't any weaker there. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
I do think there are some other benefits Grovyle might have, though. Not items in this case, but he has 2 moves in particular that I think are super good here. The first one is Detect, which is an automatic dodging thing. Yep, that's the best way I can put it. That's basically what it does, though.
It's ultra
it lingers for a while.
while.
In the main games, it lingers very briefly, but in Mystery Dungeon, it lasts for quite a while. It does just let him automatically dodge everything. With the speed advantage, I think that would help avoid a lot of the things that could be counted as weaknesses, like fire and wind magic. And he has another move called Pursuit, which in Mystery Dungeon acts as an automatic counter. If you hit Grovyle, the exact same amount of damage is dealt back to the person who hit him.
Is that what Pursuit does in that game?
Yeah, that's what Pursuit does in that game.
Okay, so it's like
it's like actual the move counter.
Yeah, counter. Lucina has a counter in Smash.
That is true. She does have a counter in Smash.
Yeah. So Lucina does a ton of damage. It's reflected back at Lucina, then she just counters.
And then it keeps going.
Yeah, like
yeah. I'm trying to. Does Grovyle know like Mega Drain at all?
He knows Absorb, which so he'll hit you and then he'll drain back the HP back to himself.
Okay, because I know Lucina. I don't remember what they're called in Fire Emblem. I know that they have some healing items in there.
Nosferatu?
Are they just called? No, not Nosferatu. Although she can learn that, but it'd be like they have some kind of elixir, and I know that Falchion is also capable of restoring hit points as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
There are a few items for Grovyle. I keep saying that. I think I've said that so many times. There are a few items for Grovyle where he could do this oddly specific scenario, where because a lot of these healing things aren't like natural abilities to her. Besides, like the skills, right? It's like Falchion can help her heal. She can drink an elixir to heal. She could use fire and wind magic, which would be super effective.
Yeah, I think Ether provides healing as well.
Yeah, you're right on that. But because Grovyle does have a few items that steal items from others. There's an item called the Troll Orb, which just drags all the items on a floor, so like bigger than the room. Like I can't give an exact measurement, but we'll just say like 1,000 feet or so, or whatever. Probably more. Just drags all the items, so that could steal away all of Lucina's items.
I'm pretty sure that only works if they haven't been picked up, though. I don't think they just steal. I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, boy, do I have the orb for you, called the Mug Orb, which actually does steal it on someone's person.
Come on down, I've got an orb for everything. It's like I've got the orb for you.
Kecleon?
There are so many orbs.
Kecleon? Okay, Jacob, does Grovyle scale to Kecleon though?
Oh, that might actually be the most powerful being in this Mystery Dungeon in general.
Yeah, no. Okay, he gets third place. He gets third place.
There you go. All right, real quick. So we're gonna read some community answers. So I need y'all to think about your final arguments because we're wrapping up on time here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and hear from the first community answer and see who they're arguing for. All right, this one comes from Kay's Ideas. Sure. Lucina was teleported to and fought on the back of Grima, a dragon that stretched across the entire freaking sky and horizon while he was airborne. The balance, focused, and bravery needed to fight hordes of cultists while fighting strong wind currents. Well, that high was insane, or is insane. It's safe to say that she has extreme skill, environmental, and situational adaptation, but I don't know anything about the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, so I'm a bit biased. Anyways, this would be one heck of a fight.
Unbelievable. I feel
I'll take it.
offended by
I'll
that.
take it. They're good games. Well, some of them are good games.
I think Gates is fine.
Gates is fine. Super Mystery Dungeon is. I'm sorry, Jacob.
All right, let's see.
Okay, now I gotta beat him. You guys gotta vote for Grovyle now.
All right. let's hear the Grovyle argument. Coming from Dude Blade X. What's up? In a battle like this, it's all about who has the better hacks between Lucina's skill and Grovyle's items. Grovyle has a distinct advantage, and since Grovyle is faster than Lucina and isn't that far behind in terms of strength, he's more likely to land his much more often than Lucy is. This is one heck of a fight to the finish, but Grovyle is going to shine in this fight. Hey,
we love specific game puns.
Yeah, references.
But I think
Alright.
that honestly did kind of sum up my general final thoughts on this. I think a lot of the orbs just kind of defeat a lot of Lucina's options. There's orbs just steal her.
Grovyle is fast enough to get his items off, and he has items for fucking everything.
yeah, but they're,
Yeah.
they're pretty comparable in
Doesn't
stats,
matter.
though, is what we've learned,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
how
there's
long
like
does it
okay.
take? Like, what is to use an orb? Do they just like toss it?
They just
or, like,
activate it.
you like raise it in
Yeah,
the air
sure.
and it activates.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are on like
Yeah.
huge scale too, from what you were saying, what I've seen in the chat. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I have.
Kendra
I've
X,
said
thanks for
pretty much
membership.
everything. I've said pretty much everything that I want to argue for Lucina. I have one final latch stitch thing that I
Here we
hope
go.
will convince people. All
I'm
right,
not doing what I think.
guys. Lucina's birthday is April 20th. Vote for the funny number.
Oh, fuck.
Damn, that's a strong argument, my guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on,
Okay, but have you
come on.
considered
I know
that
you guys
Grovyle
love
is literally
comedy.
weed? He has a weed on his head.
Yeah.
No, he
that's
does
true.
not.
Grovyle.
Yeah, he does. It's
no,
long
he does
too.
not. That is not a
That's
weed.
the biggest like.
Grovyle
is
That
not
is
a
not
weed.
a weed.
That is not a weed. He's got
Jacob-
weeds on his arms. He's got weeds on his
Could-
tail.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Look how
my
long it's longer than his
God.
body almost.
It's a
Do
blade
you
of grass.
think you
Oh
could
my-
smoke a Grovyle?
Probably.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean,
Grovyle
Sam,
would
you
smoke
you
Lucina.
can smoke anything pretty much. It's just whether or not you should.
Yeah.
On that note, Sam, who are you voting for?
Honestly, I don't feel like I've gotten enough to say either way, so I'm just gonna say Grovyle. It's like 50-50 for me, so I'm just gonna go with Grovyle.
I'm also leaning Grovyle because of all the utility of the orbs. I think Lucina's got counters
Yeah.
for some stuff, but I think there's just
Petrification.
too much of an arsenal at Grovyle's, especially since we said they're pretty comparable in stats. So I'm gonna have to
I
lean
also
towards
feel
Grovyle
like-
as well.
Keen, you probably held back because I'm pretty sure there's some additional Fire Emblem stuff, but that's on you.
Yeah,
for
I was
holding
trying to.
back.
I was trying to mostly stick it to Awakening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so that's 2 for Grovyle. And then all right, let's see what the pre-poll vote was. I'm gonna guess Lucina. Yep. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. So we got 2 for Grovyle, 1 for Lucina, which means we're gonna go to the chat poll. We can end that, and it could be a tie, and it might go to Mike. We'll see.
I'm sending it in the
I'm
Discord
sure
right
Mike
now,
is
Mike.
incredibly knowledgeable about Fire Emblem and Pokemon.
You know Mike, he's always got it.
Always talking about him. All right. It
In the
looks like-
Discord, I don't know if we say it or we show it, but
sometimes we show it. I never know. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Grovyle wins 61%. Congratulations, Jacob.
big swing, Jacob,
yeah.
from the Twitter poll to the, which we all know the most important thing you can do in Death Battle Gas is how much does the public
popularity
opinion
swing.
before
Yeah.
and after matter, and that's you had a great swing there.
If I were to
40
be honest,
points.
I
Alright.
thought it was gonna be like 70 or 80% Lucina for the popularity.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. Mike, can you please put this on screen for me?
Oh,
what?
is this your final bit?
Yeah, this is yeah. No, I sent it in the Discord if you want to put it there.
Oh my god.
While
I don't
he's doing
know
that,
if we
usually,
will be
usually
able
it'll
to-
take a second for
maybe.
him to grab it and throw
Let's
it into the
see.
system.
I've got my fingers crossed. This is my final bit.
This is your final bit.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, while that's getting pulled up, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much, Jacob and Kian, for joining us on cast today. Hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and thanks for all that you guys do for the show. We really appreciate it. Yeah, and Mike, would throw the image up whenever you get there. I'm just gonna keep filling time.
I could
yeah.
mention real quick because I do see
What's up?
like a few when it comes to this matchup, people tend to like be putting these characters at like multiversal scales or whatever. Like people talk about like Fire Emblem Heroes or whatever. I think this matchup's pretty close without all that. I think it's cool. It's my favorite matchup. I think
Yeah.
some people maybe highball it a bit. I just want to mention that real quick because I'm very passionate about this matchup.
Also, for the record, we pitched this as a cast episode before we knew it was going on the ballot. Just so nobody thinks that like it got put on there just for us.
It was very funny though.
Yep.
There
you
you
go.
go.
Oh, that's the final.
I'm sure this meme means something to y'all. It means nothing to me. But anyways, that's how we end our show. Thanks everybody for
Perfect.
watching.
Thank you guys so much.
Have
Don't
a good
forget,
one.
if you got gifted a membership or if you guys are a member and you're watching, head over to the Discord, hit up Nubia. She'll teach you how to get to the Tournament of Champions and vote. Thanks, everybody. See you in the next one.
I think I still lost.
Mm.